Hello, this is Outer Region. Thanks to Creative Assembly for giving me the beta access for Omens of Destruction, and I want to talk a little bit about some things that I like and some things that I don't. Specifically about Scarbrand, because Khorne is my favorite and Scarbrand is my best boy. So one good thing about the DLC is uses for skulls. In the base game, you could have even more skulls than this and have nothing to use it on. The new skull throne allows you to actually use the skulls that you get, and therefore it's not just a waste of resource. So you can actually use it, which is great. So as you can see, this is from the game before the DLC. You have basically over 20,000 skulls, nothing to use it on. And the other big thing that changed is the buildings. So you can see this is the mortal version of buildings, and even the minor settlements have them too. And if you have a mortal version of a building, you can only build the mortal buildings. So you can see that the demon building is crossed out. You can also see here we got the mortal buildings, but not the demon building. So I think this is kind of annoying, but I can kind of get what they're going at. The mortal building recruits mortals. The demon buildings, I guess, like summons demons. That makes sense, sure. But this is only for Khorne. So the other demons like Slanesh, Tzeentch, and Nurgle, they still have their base building slots and stuff. Only Khorne has changed. And, you can argue that doing this makes you kind of think about your buildings a little bit more, like gives you more choices and like strategy, but as Khorne, I just want to build all the military buildings, get all the units I want, and then just go and kill. That's kind of Khorne's thing, so feels kind of weird. And another thing is that Khorne now has infrastructure buildings. So Khorne is a bit more generic because beforehand you could, as shown here, just fight with all your armies and get incredible growth, like 820 growth every settlement. It was kind of insane. So I guess I can understand them wanting to nerf it, but now they just, build a growth building in every building in every settlement and then just wait for growth. And yeah, you can see by turn 27, I can basically get ready to build up a level 5, a level 3, level 3. So this is like basically just complete. This one, we are probably going to need to wait a while to get to tier 5, so it does slow down your progress, and that was kind of an advantage of Khorne, right? You can build up really quickly, get your elite cool units pretty quickly, but now you're just like any other faction. At the very least, you do get a lot of growth from these buildings, like they do give a lot more than most other factions do, so you're still growing pretty quick, but a lot slower than you used to. Other than that, the one other thing is Khorne overall used to have the, I think 30% or 15% movement after raising. That has been removed from the faction effects and has been moved to the individual lords. So as you can see, they got the Blood God's Vigor. So the first level, you get 20% for fighting, 10 for raising, and you get 30 and 20 later on. So this way, I guess it's a way, because now there's 3 Khorne factions. You don't have to give that 20% movement after raising for every single one of them anymore. But that comes with the price that when you raise it with a Blood Host, because they don't have skill points, they don't get to move at all. Now, this isn't a big deal, but Blood Hosts are pretty useful. And them not being able to move after raising is kind of a disadvantage, but it's not that big of a deal, I guess. And another thing that changed is how you get skulls. So usually, when you would fight and win, you would have the blood skulls for the skull throne, which would always give 1,000. Now it is based on kind of how big the settlement is. So let's say the sack value was like 7,000. The skull amount could be 2,000 something, and you would still get a little bit of the money. So now the skulls for the skull throne isn't a guaranteed 1,000 skulls anymore, which kind of makes you it makes you choose a little bit more, right? So would you rather get like some settlements can be over 10,000 gold, or would you get like 3,000 skulls? It's a little bit more choice, I guess. And of course, the blood god blood hosts cost skulls now. Some content creators have been saying that blood hosts costing money was a big issue. I don't think it was, because as you can see, there is a big upkeep cost, but we just get so much money. It wasn't really that big of an issue. But I guess, having more things to use skulls on is pretty good. And then you can see here, the other thing is, because Khorne had access to both demon and basically they used to be normal with the building selection, where they could, build whatever they want. But now because it's restricted, it's kind of harder to get, like, for example, the Khorne cultist hero, you could usually get it by turn 3 by breaking down one building and starting the Chaos Warriors building. Now you can't really do that, and you have to choose. So if you have a mortal building, you can only get the cultist hero and the exalted hero of Khorne. But if you choose the demon building, you can only get the Blood Reaper. And considering the DLC is mostly mortals, right? Like there's the, I think the Skull Reapers, the Wrathmongers, like those things are probably going to be mortal related. So I think this kind of nerfs demons even more, because people normally go for mortal units in the first place. Now you're basically limiting it so that you can only get one or the other in each settlement, I guess, kind of. I don't know. I feel like that's not great. And the other thing is, so the skill tree has been changed a little bit as well. So before, the Chaos Lord of Khorne used to have a slightly different blue line than the Herald. Now they're pretty much the same. So, you can see Call to Bloodletting and the Blood Feast, and the Herald also has the same thing. So now this kind of makes the Herald and the Chaos Lord a bit too similar as well, I feel like, but I guess it's not too big of a deal. So in general, I do like the changes, specifically for more things to use skulls on, but a lot of changes are also kind of weird, like this. As I said, the other demons don't have it, it's only Khorne. So what are they going to do? Are they going to change all the other demon factions to be like this as well? Or are they going to like revert this back to, hey, if you have a building, just, build everything? Because as I said, so normally the capital used to be like this, where it has the demon building and the mortal building, but the minor settlements used to just be the mortal building. Now it is both here as well. So you're going to do that for every faction? And does that mean that, for example, Tzeentch will only get like either demons or mortals as well, and Slaanesh? What about Nurgle, who has like these growth buildings? I feel like this makes it more complicated than it needs to. Other than that, I do like the DLC. I don't have access to the DLC right now, unfortunately, so for example, I'm guessing the Blood Brute, no, the Slaughter Brute will be like probably on like here, or like on the creatures thing. You can see that I don't have any new units, so I couldn't really test them out, but once it comes out, I'll get to play it. Anyway, those are just my simple thoughts. Thanks for watching.